Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Diplomats of Dope Beard Therapy podcast. My name is Rick Holland, your host, and I'm here today to show you something that a lot of men are really scared to do, and that is trim the old mustache, if you have a handlebar mustache or any kind of a mustache, and trim the beard. I've never had a professional barber trim my beard, and I've kept this look for a couple of years now, and I'll show you there's some very simple tips and tricks to taking care of your own beard and mustache. You don't really need a barber. Yeah, occasionally, maybe every 6 months to have a really professional tune-up, but I'll show you some tips and tricks that you can do every day to look your best. Let's get started. I have a pair of scissors. I said they were Japanese scissors, but they're actually from Taiwan. But get a good pair of scissors. These were $30, stainless steel scissors, and I love them. Let's get into trimming the mustache. Why are so many men intimidated of trimming their own mustache? I don't know. They get their spouse to do it, their girlfriend, or whatever. But it's easy. It's easy like crazy. All you have to do is get next to a mirror. Now, my mirror is here, so forgive me if I'm not looking directly at the camera. But take a look at your mustache. Put your fingers on your mustache and just straighten it out as much as you can before you start trimming it. Okay, so when you wear a handlebar mustache or any other kind of mustache as a man, you will be able to feel the tips of your mustache. Right now, I can feel them. Now, after a while, when you get good at this, you'll feel if there's any little hairs that are slightly longer. I have to trim my mustache about every 3 to 4 weeks, so about once a month, because I've heard that mustache hairs grow between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch every month or so. And it's very, very easy. All you have to do, you know that it's relatively even on both ends or sides. And if you don't know, then just take your scissors and use a reference point like the screw, see the screw head here, and measure from your nose out to the tip of your mustache. So that screw tip is right here to the tip of my mustache when it's in the curled position. Turn it around. Is it doing the same thing? Is the tip right here? Yes, it is. It's right there. So that's a really good length. Take a look at this little screw in the scissors from here, the middle of my nose, to the end of my mustache. Is that fairly balanced? Yes. A mustache on a man is not designed to be exclusively perfect. It has a little bit of a wildness to it. The mustache and the beard should look like an aquarium. It should flow. It should have areas of crashing waves in it, kind of like that. But to keep it trimmed, it only takes a couple of minutes a week, for crying out loud. So here we're going to trim the mustache. So all I do is I take my fingers and I can feel where my mustache ends, and I only need about 1/4 of an inch. I don't know what that is in new school math, but I only need about that much. And then I will take the scissors and I will just clean up. I can see it. I can't see it well, but so that's done. And then I will go over to this side and I can feel, and I can take my fingers and I can see my mustache. There we go. So if you heard that on the microphone, there we go. Okay, so I've just trimmed it. I've cleaned it up. Perfectly acceptable to do before you're going out on a nice night on the town. If you're going to be wearing a suit or a tuxedo, make sure that your tips of your mustache are nice and clean. You don't want any straggling hairs. And you do this just before you go out on your dinner or to the opera or whatever you're doing. This. So we've trimmed our mustache hairs, yes? So that's done. If you want to get a little more aggressive, you can. But remember, take a look in the mirror. Is the screw right here? When I put it in next to my nose, is it way far off? No, it's still there. It's still very acceptable. So I just trimmed off a little bit. And this goes all the way to there. For me, that's a balanced mustache. I want a nice side here and a nice side there. And that's what I use for measuring. You don't have to get fancy. Besides, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let my beard go a little bit longer, so I want to show you the straggliness that you do not see until I lift my head up. Basically, from my beard, I've grown a woman's bob. Take a look at a woman's bob on the back of their hair. All they do is they bring it down, and that's it. And then they cut it in like a horseshoe shape back here. That's it. That's all I do. But what I want to do now is I want to trim my hairs. So you take a comb, and you should have product in your beard to do this. Because if you do this on a dry beard, the hairs will not be in alignment properly, and after you cut it, it's going to look very strange. It's going to make you look like a shaggy moose. So put a little bit of product in before you start trimming your beard, please, gentlemen. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now let's start trimming. I'm going to lift my head up. I have a neck injury, so I'm going to pay for this, but I'm going to lift my head up a little bit so you can see the hairs underneath that I'm going to trim and why I'm going to trim them. So, you see underneath? Oh, okay. So there's hair all the way along, right up here, right? So all I want to do is create a horseshoe shape, a very definite horseshoe shape with the scissors. Is it easy to do? Absolutely. Look, from here, I can see in the mirror the hair right here on my beard. So all I have to do is gently, and I don't take very much, really. I don't take very much. I go a little bit like this. As long as you can see and take your time, you can do a really good job of trimming your own beard. So here we go. Hear that? Now, for this, don't panic. Don't rush. There's no rule that says you have to trim your beard in 15 seconds. You can take 5-10 minutes with it if you want. So then I go over here. But I always have a mirror. I never guess. Never guess with your beard. These are still a little bit long. Now you see this? Just remember the principle of a horseshoe shape of your beard. It's not scary, or it shouldn't be scary. The only thing you have to remember, gentlemen, is don't take a lot off at one time. Like, just go slow. And don't all of a sudden get panicky because you think you put a hole in your beard. You can take some product and you can take care of that. Now, I might have to put some more product on that, right? And I might have to put a little bit more product on my beard after I have trimmed it. Just enough, because I'm going to have to put some wax on these follicles that I just don't have any wax on them, see? Because when I trim it, this doesn't have any product on it. So I want to seal it with my product to moisturize it and to control it, to keep it in place. So I would go to a mirror now, and I would just lightly put a coat just here, and maybe a little bit of a coat here. And I would freshen up my mustache. How long did that take? It didn't take long, did it? You can trim your own mustache. Don't be afraid of that. Especially if you're working with a mirror, it's easy peasy. You can also trim your own beard. Look, that's it. I want a waterfall effect, and I want this effect where it goes a little bit of a dramatic effect, where it goes in on the side, right? And then you can do this with it. You can change your look any way you want. You can go like this, if you want to go with a bassier, beefier beard. For a man that wants a little bit of a mountain look, you know, you can spread this out a little bit, make your beard look fuller. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with this. I prefer a little bit of more of a dramatic look because of the color of my beard. I prefer a little bit of more of a pencil tip point on the front, right? And you can, watch this, you can influence this really easily. You want a little bit more of a tip? Put a bit more product in there, and you can shape it, and you can form it to any shape you want. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. This is amazing for trimming your beard and mustache, and all you need is a simple comb. Do not get a cheap comb. The cheap combs you will find when they come out of the mold, they have little ragged edges here, And unless you take emery cloth and go in between every single tooth and get rid of those raggedy edges, it's going to pull and rip your beard. Why do that? Just go out and get a really good comb. I think this comb is from Goldilocks. It has fine teeth in it, and it gives me a good comb when I go through. Guy Fieri says his food has a good chew. Well, this is a good comb. Has good comb. So this is Rick Holland, and I'm just going to fix that up with a little bit of product. I may go back and trim this a little bit more, trim this back a little bit more, because I want a horseshoe shape, right, just underneath. But nobody sees that unless I put my head back, right? Okay. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.